In this video, I'll explain the difference between literature review and theoretical framework, the role of theory and theoretical constructs in the theoretical framework of research. What does it mean when your advisor or dissertation committee chair asks you to build connections among theoretical framework, research questions, methods, and discussion sections in an empirical research paper or your dissertation? What is a theoretical definition and what is operational definition? I will answer those questions in this video. Many of you scratch your head when writing the section of a theoretical framework for your research paper or dissertation. That's understandable. I think there is a gap in the curriculum of doctoral programs, especially in my field of educational leadership. Think about it. In your doctoral program, you are required to take numerous research methods courses. However, how often have you come across courses that teach you the art of constructing a theoretical framework and how to differentiate between a well-constructed theory and a poorly formulated theory? What does a good theory look like? You might have taken a course providing an overview of leadership theories or organizational behavior, but you may still lack the knowledge and skills required to understand how theories are developed and how to create your own theory. In the end, the majority of the research in educational leadership often reaffirms existing theories as correct. However, the essence of a theory is that theory is wrong, it's inherently incomplete or imperfect. There is always room for a better theory, a better explanation that helps us gain a deeper understanding of the phenomena under research. This gap in our academic training becomes glaringly evident when you sit down to write conference paper proposals, empirical articles, or your dissertation. You arrive at the section of the theoretical framework, and the question arises, what exactly are you supposed to write? I've noticed a common trend among doctoral students and some scholars who confuse the theoretical framework with the literature review. It's a mistake that can really diminish the quality of your research. A theoretical framework is not just about piling up all the literature you've read. It's about weaving a coherent story that explains why you are studying what you are studying and how your research fits into the bigger picture. Let's start with the first question. What's the difference between literature review and a theoretical framework? The primary purpose of a literature review is to provide a comprehensive overview and a critical analysis of the existing research on a particular topic. One thing many authors miss is the critical analysis of the literature. For example, if you write a literature review on organizational culture and every book, journal article, report, and other literature you present in this section is one-sided, you only discuss how organizational culture is important without critically analyzing it. If you don't question or critically evaluate different perspectives or potential limitations, you are missing the critical analysis aspect. A well-done literature review should not just summarize existing research, but also critically evaluate the strength, the weakness, and gaps in the literature. Without a critical analysis, you may have a superficial understanding of the topic because you have not gone beyond the surface. Your literature review simply include author A said this, author B stated that. In your literature review, you should uncover nuances, contradictions, and gaps. Without this, your research may lack depth or insight. For example, you write a literature review that only presents the existing literature arguing that it is important for leaders to have moral values and become moral leaders. Your literature review is one-sided. A well-rounded literature review should include, but not limited to, how factors like organizational structure and power imbalances in organization undermine leaders' moral decision, and the neural constraint of making moral decisions and data-driven decisions at the same time. Researchers should not merely regurgitate existing literature without critically examining it. Critical examination involves analyzing, synthesizing, and evaluating existing research rather than just summarizing it. Critical analysis of literature is essential for shaping meaningful research questions. If you have not critically evaluated the existing literature, you may formulate research questions that are not well-informed or relevant to current understanding of your topic. Your choice of research methods and data collection techniques should be influenced by the critical analysis of the existing literature. Without this analysis, you may select inappropriate methods that do not effectively address the research questions or hypotheses. Research should contribute something new or advance existing knowledge. Critical analysis helps you identify gaps or areas where the literature falls short. Without this analysis, your research may end up duplicating what's already known, offering little value to your field. The goal of a literature review is to identify gaps, inconsistencies, and the current state of knowledge in the field. It's not enough to include what is known. You should always include what is not known about the topic, which lays the foundation to justify your research. This is why a theoretical framework often comes after the literature review. A theoretical framework is an explanation of the phenomena under your research. A theory simply means explanation. For example, you want to investigate and understand the phenomenon of employees leaving their jobs in an organization. Psychological contract theory can provide an explanation for the phenomenon of employee turnover. This is because the psychological contract theory suggests that beyond formal employment contracts, there exists an unwritten, often implicit agreement between employees and their organizations. In this psychological contract, employees have certain expectations regarding job security, career advancement, fair treatment, and the work environment. Similarly, employers have expectations related to employee performance, commitment, and loyalty. According to the psychological contract theory, you can investigate employees' unmet expectations and perceptions of fairness. Why? Because those two constructs or variables are part of the psychological contract theory. To investigate unmet expectations, you then collect data on employees' implicit expectations about what they will receive from their employment relationship in terms of reward, recognition, job security, and opportunities for growth. Why? Because according to the psychological contract theory, when those expectations are not met, employees may feel that their psychological contract with the organization has been breached. The construct of breach means a fundamental breakdown in the employment relationship, often due to repeated violations. When employees experience breaches of their psychological contract, it can erode their commitment to the organization and increase their likelihood of turnover. To investigate perceptions of fairness, you can collect data on how employees evaluate the fairness of their treatment in comparison to their contributions and their colleagues' treatment. If they perceive unfairness, particularly regarding rewards or opportunities, it can lead to dissatisfaction and intentions to leave. Now you can see how the psychological contract theory guides you in formulating your research questions, data collection, analysis, and interpretation of results. Of course, the psychological contract theory includes more constructs than the two I just mentioned. I'm using those two as examples. The psychological contract theory is not the only theory that explains the phenomenon of employee turnover. Let's look at how equity theory can be used to explain the same phenomenon from a different perspective. Equity theory, proposed by J. Stacy Adams, suggests that individuals in the workplace compare their own input, that is, effort, contribution, or investment, and outcomes, that is, rewards, benefits, or recognition, to those of others. The theory argues that people seek fairness and equity in those comparisons. Here, equity is defined as the ratio of their inputs to outcomes. It's similar to that of their peers or colleagues. For example, you and your colleague Sarah have similar job responsibilities, roles, and experience levels. You both put in the same amount of effort and dedication into your work. You receive a 3% salary increase at the end of the year. Sarah receives a 15% salary increase for the same amount of effort in the same time period. In this case, you may perceive an inequity because the ratio of your input, that is your effort and contributions, to your outcome, that is your salary increase, is significantly different from Sarah's ratio. You both contributed equally, but the outcomes were not proportionately rewarded. According to the equity theory, when employees perceive an imbalance, especially in feeling under-rewarded, it can lead to job dissatisfaction and demotivation. This dissatisfaction, a key driver for employees deciding to leave the organization, thereby explaining a part of the turnover phenomenon. When you apply equity theory to explain employee turnover, you investigate both equity and inequity. You then collect data on equity and inequity to calculate the perceived input-outcome ratio. If the perceived input-outcome ratio of Sarah is similar to that of her peers or colleagues, then equity exists and the employees experience a sense of fairness. However, if the ratio is imbalanced, indicating either over-rewarding or under-rewarding compared to others, employees will experience a sense of inequity. When you use equity theory to explain employment turnover, you also investigate equity restoration. You then collect data on restoring equity. This is because equity theory suggests that individuals who perceive inequity will seek to restore equity. They may do so by adjusting their inputs, reducing their effort or contributions, or by attempting to change their outcomes, seeking a raise, promotion, or increased recognition to regain a sense of fairness. To collect those data, you use whatever research methods you've learned in your methods courses to collect the data on whether and to what extent employees reduce their effort and seek ways to increase their rewards, recognition, or benefits in the organization, such as requesting a salary raise, pursue a promotion, or actively seek opportunities for increased recognition or career growth. As you can see, different theories offer different lenses through which to view and understand the same phenomenon of employee turnover. Those different explanations provided by different theories guide you in formulating research questions, exploring different constructs, and collecting different data. Now you can explore what other theories can be used to explain employee turnover. For example, role theory can explain turnover when employees experience role conflict, conflicting expectations from different roles, or role ambiguity, unclear job expectations. Those factors can lead to job dissatisfaction and turnover intentions. Employees may leave their jobs seeking roles with clear expectations or less conflicting demands. You can also use strategic organizational ignorance to explain employee turnover. This is because strategic organizational ignorance as a theoretical construct refers to a deliberate or strategic decision by an organization to remain ignorant or unaware of certain information or issues. This strategic choice is made for different reasons, such as protecting the organization from potential liabilities, maintaining plausible deniability, or avoiding taking action on sensitive matters. An organization may strategically choose to remain unaware of certain internal issues such as abusive supervision, lack of transparency, or nepotism to avoid addressing them directly. This could lead to increased turnover because employees leave due to unresolved problems. Understanding different theories and constructs is essential because they form the foundation of your theoretical framework. A theoretical framework provides the intellectual structure that anchors your research. A theoretical framework serves as a compass, leading you to specific constructs, which then guide your research questions, data collection, answering your research questions, and ultimately generating empirical evidence that may be used to develop new and better theories. Here I need to explain the relationship between construct, theory, and a theoretical framework. A theory is an explanation of a phenomenon. A theory is often developed based on a body of knowledge and evidence that has been repeatedly confirmed through observation and experimentation. It provides an explanation by specifying relations among variables with the goal of explaining and predicting the phenomena. In essence, theories are composed of constructs and their interrelations. A construct is a building block of a theory. For example, self-efficacy is a construct of social cognitive theory, which was developed by psychologist Albert Bandura. This theory emphasizes the importance of observational learning, imitation, and modeling in the development of behavior. Self-efficacy refers to an individual's belief in their ability to succeed in specific situations or accomplish a task. It is a building block of the social cognitive theory that explains how individuals' beliefs in their abilities to succeed significantly influence their actions, motivations, and resilience in the face of challenges. Here is another example. Trust is a construct, a building block of many theories such as social exchange theory and leader-member exchange theory. Social exchange theory explains that social behavior is the result of an exchange process with the aim to maximize benefits and minimize costs. Leader-member exchange theory explains the dynamics of leader-follower relationship in organizations. This theory focuses on the quality of the relationship that leaders and supervisors form with their followers or team members, and how those relationships can impact different aspects of the workplace. In addition to trust as a building block of leader-member exchange theory, other constructs as the building blocks include in-groups and out-groups. In-group members have higher quality relationships with their leaders, characterized by trust, respect, and mutual support. By contrast, out-group members have more transactional and formal relationships. Once you identify theories and constructs, you then build a theoretical framework. This framework serves as the structure that supports and integrates the theory being applied to the specific phenomena you are researching. Think of a theoretical framework as a house, underpinned by theories and constructs, which are building blocks. The theoretical framework not only presents the theory, but also explains why your research problem exists based on the relationship and interactions of the theoretical constructs as described in the theory. This theoretical framework guides every aspect of your study, from the formulation of research questions and hypotheses to the determination of methods for data collection and analysis. This is why many researchers use diagrams in which circles and rectangles represent constructs and lines and arrows represent their relationships. After data collection and analysis, researchers interpret their findings by revisiting the theoretical framework. This is another critical step of research. Sometimes your findings do not support the relationships depicted in your theoretical framework. This outcome is actually exciting because it may indicate you have identified something others have overlooked. At other times, your findings may reveal aspects that have been missed in the existing theory. In this case, you can propose those new insights as additional constructs to refine and enhance the existing theories. Many inexperienced scholars often conclude their writing after reporting the findings, treating the discussion section merely as a summary of their findings. The discussion should go beyond summarizing results. It should provide an in-depth interpretation of what the findings mean in the context of the theoretical framework, existing literature, and the research questions you posed. A key aspect of the discussion is to articulate how your findings contribute to the existing body of knowledge or theory. Personally, I'm not interested in reading a research paper that simply supports the existing theories because I don't learn anything new. I prefer to invest my time to read papers that extend or challenge current theories. I use their insights to improve current theories or to develop new theories. This is how we really contribute to our field. It is not productive if every researcher just keeps repeating known knowledge. For example, in the field of leadership, everyone knows collaboration is important. But what's really valuable are the in-depth theoretical insights about the factors that nurturing collaboration and the conditions that lead to the breakdown of collaboration, as well as the role leaders play in ensuring effective collaboration and avoid the free riding problem. One more thing I like to add is that when you write your theoretical framework, you need to include both a theoretical and operational definition of the constructs. A big problem in our field of educational leadership is that the theoretical definitions are too ambiguous, and there is usually no operational definition of a construct. A theoretical definition provides an understanding of a term or construct. It is abstract and focuses on explaining the inherent meaning of the construct. For example, intelligence may be theoretically defined as the ability to learn from experience, solve a problem, and use knowledge to adapt to new situations. Trust is often theoretically defined as a psychological state comprising 5 dimensions: competence, reliability, benevolence, integrity, transparency, and openness. This theoretical definition suggests that you can earn other people's trust through demonstrating your competence to performing tasks consistently and reliably, behaving honestly and upholding your ethical principles, showing your goodwill and benevolent intentions, and maintaining transparent and open communication. An operational definition, on the other hand, specifies how a construct are measured, observed, or manipulated in the context of a particular study. It translates the abstract theoretical concept into a concrete, measurable term. Operational definitions help bridge the gap between theory and practice, then translating vague or abstract ideas into concrete and observable terms. Operational definitions are essential for ensuring clarity and consistency in research, allowing others to replicate your methods accurately. For example, intelligence could be operationally defined as the scores obtained on a specific IQ test. This score is used as a proxy to measure the theoretical concept of intelligence in a tangible way. To operationally define trust, you use survey questions, interview questions, documents, and observations to target the 5 dimensions of trust: competence, reliability, benevolence, integrity, and transparency and openness. To evaluate benevolence, you can use survey items that ask participants to rate their agreement with statements like, "I believe my supervisor has my best interests at heart." To evaluate competence, you can use interview questions. Can you give an example of a time when a colleague or manager demonstrated exceptional skill or expertise in handling a specific situation? To evaluate reliability, you can observe and look for repeated behaviors of meeting commitments and dependability in actions. To evaluate transparency and openness, you can review communication memos, crisis management documents, and policy changes for clarity and openness. This is how a robust theoretical framework and clear definitions are key in guiding your data collection and analysis. In the field of education or in society right now, people use the word equity casually. In your research, if you study equity, you need to have a theoretical definition of what equity is. You also need to provide operational definition because equity can mean different things to different people. If one research study defines equity as A, in another research study, equity is defined as B, but they use the same label, equity, and their findings both support that equity is associated with C. If you don't look at operational definition, you would have no idea that they actually refer to two different things. One research study reports A is associated with C. Another research study suggests B is associated with C, but they both label A and B as equity. Without a clear operational definition, you would have no idea that the two research studies actually are talking about completely different things. So this is why in your research, you need a clear definition, including both theoretical definition and operational definition, to provide clarity and consistency. That will make a major contribution to our field because right now we don't have much clarity when people talk about equity. Again, without a good theoretical framework, your research is like a boat navigating the vast ocean without a compass. Just as the compass provides guidance and direction to a boat, a theoretical framework offers essential guidance to research methods, ensuring that they are purposeful and aligned with research questions and the objective of your research.